Hello everybody, this is Phantom Phoenix, and I just have a few things to say about Life is Strange. It's a fairly popular game. There is a considerable amount of discussions and questions about it on various gaming sites and discussion forums, and there were a few of them in particular that I wanted to address. Bear in mind, these are impressions based on the first episode only. At the time I started working on this video, the second episode wasn't out yet. First of all, what is it exactly? It's what they call a cinematic game, or an interactive movie. It is most similar to Telltale's titles of the same kind. And the first question people ask when it comes to these kind of games is, how much is it a game actually? Well, to me it seems slightly less a game than, for example, Telltale's Walking Dead. I feel I am less in control, that I have less impact on what's going on, and most importantly, that there is less possibility for failure. Also, one question that is very interesting is how hard the puzzles are. Apparently, many people are under the impression that this is something of an adventure game, where time rewinding is a useful mechanic that helps you if you screw something up. I must tell you, this is absolutely not the case. And the puzzles are actually non-existent. Let me elaborate. Let's talk about how puzzles work in adventure games. For example, you have a certain area, whether it's a room or a city, which contains various objects, items, or characters that you need to interact with in order to solve some problem and progress in the game. And the trick is mainly in figuring out which order to do it in. Sometimes, if we're lucky, we might get it the first time, but most of the time we do it by trial and error. But the point is, we, the players, are the ones who are figuring it out. Now, in Life is Strange, let's say you have an area and objects A, B, and C, and the solution to the puzzle is that you need to move the object C, then activate the object B in order for object A to fall on object C so we can pick it up. What happens here is objects B and C are not at all interactable at first. Only after you interact with A, the B becomes interactable. Then you activate B, which causes the puzzle to fail, and only then the object C miraculously becomes interactable. And then the game tells you to rewind time and do it right. And on top of that, your character says something like, I should have done that in the first place. I know, but how? It wasn't possible. I didn't have that option. Do you see what's wrong with this picture? First of all, that is not a puzzle. That's just someone telling me to click here first and then click here second and so on. That's not a challenge. That's not playing a game per se. Even the use of time rewinding is predetermined. Come on. It is not even leading us by the hand, it is pushing and forcing our every single step. Second of all, it's almost insulting. What am I, 4 years old? I could understand if the target audience for this were small children, but it's clearly not the case if you consider the language used in this game, all the F-bombs and B-bombs and all kinds of bombs. And it makes all the so-called puzzles and walking around completely redundant. The only part when I actually felt like I was having an impact on what's going on is the dialogue and the options I choose in it. They could have left all that other stuff out and just kept the dialogues, and I would have had pretty much the same experience. Oh, and take a look at this. After I choose an option or a path at an important junction in the game, the protagonist says something along the lines of, that could have had a bad impact in some regard, maybe the other option was better. And when you rewind and choose the other option, she says pretty much the same thing. Okay, game, stop talking to me like I'm stupid. I know that opposite decisions lead to different outcomes. I'm not a moron.
Maybe I should rewind and mind my own business?
I don't really know what the target audience for this is. Maybe they try to attract non-gamers, to get people who never played video games into, well, video games. I don't know. I also get this impression when I read Steam reviews and comments on this game. Most of them just say, it's beautiful or it's pretty. Yeah, I get it's beautiful, it's artsy, but what else? Besides the visual aspect. Now, I don't want to sound too negative about it. There are good aspects to it. The best part will probably be the story, and that's the main reason I'm interested in upcoming episodes. I'm very curious to see which way it'll go, whether we'll get to dive into the missing girls mystery, or whether it'll be more focused on Max's supernatural power, and so on. All I'm saying is that it is less a game and more a slightly interactive movie, well, technically a TV show, that a lot of time controls you instead of you controlling it. So, recap. Strong on the story front, strong on the beautiful front, weak on the game front. If you're into that, then by all means you should try it. It's very reasonably priced. It's not like it's $60 and additional $15 for each additional episode or something like that. It can be pretty enjoyable and you can have a nice time playing / watching it. This has been Phantom Phoenix. Thank you very much for watching. If you disagree or if you have any other thoughts, please leave a comment below. I'd be happy to discuss it with you. In the meantime, stay tuned and take care. See ya!